Ready to learn how to crush through one of the biggest obstacles that stands in the way of most struggling ketoers? Today we are talking about cravings, and if you still struggle with cravings whilst trying so hard to stick to your keto plan, I'm going to show you what we teach our Keto Decoded members in Pillar 3 of our Ready Set Keto method. Crushing through cravings the right way at the beginning of your keto plan is incredibly important, since most people just try to white knuckle their way through cravings, and when you do that, you end up giving into your cravings, which can sabotage much of the progress you've made with just one slip up. And if you struggled with yo-yoing weight like I did, then you know that you never stop at just one slip up. Once that cheating ball gets rolling, one small bite leads to one small handful, which leads to a second small handful, and before you know it, one tiny slip up throws you out of ketosis, and since you're still working on becoming fat adapted, who knows how long you'll have to struggle to get back into ketosis. Now, I know you want results on keto, and if white knuckling your way through cravings actually worked, wouldn't we all be at our goals by now? I did my best to white knuckle my way through cravings for decades, and that only led to more struggle and more diet misery. Now, you can keep applying the same strategy and try your hardest to just let these cravings pass, but since many of these cravings are physiological, even the most willpower you can muster up doesn't stand a chance against them, unless you learn how to work smarter and not harder. So let's get to 3 ways you can crush through cravings like our members. The first way you can begin to crush through cravings is by improving your digestion. And while improving impaired digestion is important on pretty much any plan, it's especially important if you're trying to stick to a long-term keto plan. No one goes into keto saying, "Wow, I can't wait to cut back on all of these delicious carbs." Especially when up until this point, you've been taught that you should eat between 50 to 60% of your total calories from carbs. Carbs are delicious and they're addictive, especially the processed carbs that most of us use to fuel ourselves prior to finding keto. But if your dieting past resembles mine, and you spent some time in the yo-yo dieting world where you've been told to avoid fat because you've been told to reduce your calories, and fat contains the most amount of calories, then your digestion is most likely pretty screwed up. So when you try to swap out all of those carbs you've lived on for foods filled with healthy fats and more protein than you're used to, not only will strong cravings kick in for the foods that your body understands how to digest, which are simple carbs, but you'll also deal with some pretty nasty side effects like diarrhea, constipation, anxiety, depression, and more. These strong cravings you experience are physiological, so if you don't take time to improve your physiology and digestion, then the cravings will keep happening and you'll continue to struggle. If you're unsure of how to improve your digestion so that this doesn't happen, you need to take the digestion course. Drop a comment below if you have no idea what this course is or how to find it, and I'll send you the direct link. It does cost a whopping 50 cents to take the course, but I promise it is the most life-changing 50 cents you'll spend if you still struggle with cravings due to impaired digestion. As you're working towards improved digestion, another way you can bust through cravings is by eating more real food. Now I know what you're thinking. We're keto, of course we're eating real food since real food is the base of a keto plan. But are we all eating real food? Because I see a lot of y'all's posts, and I'm not even Southern, but this definitely deserves an all y'all's because I'm on social media way more than I prefer to be, and I see all of these posts with all of the delicious keto finds boasting of net carbs. Does Rebel ice cream ring a bell for anyone? And I don't mean to call out just one company since there are plenty of them out there, but using Rebel ice cream as an example, I see people get so excited because the front of the carton says only 6 net carbs. What is this deliciousness that is only 6 net carbs? But not so fast. When you look at the label, there is really 12 total grams of carbs. And while 12 carbs can still be great for a low-carb plan, if you're adding up net carbs all day long with everything you eat because you're eating all of these pre-packaged, keto-friendly foods, instead of focusing on real foods like bacon, eggs, meats, or veggies, then all of the processed junk in these foods will only lead to more cravings, which will lead to you eating even more net carbs, which will lead to you going way over your total carb budget for the day. And I haven't even gotten into how those artificial sweeteners will kick your cravings into higher gear. So you can keep on struggling with cravings and a lack of results by keeping these foods in your plan daily, or you can try what we teach in our Ready Set Keto method and start ditching many of these packaged foods, since sticking with real food will be your friend when it comes to crushing through cravings on keto. Alright, a final way that you can crush through cravings on keto is to quit the diet drinks. There's this substance that humans survived on since pretty much the caveman days, and that's called water. That's what we are meant to drink, water. This is what your body needs, water. So what's the harm of adding a little bit of artificial sweeteners or other chemicals like they do in diet drinks? While I don't have time to fully get into all of the harm that these artificially sweetened drinks lead to, I can tell you there's a lot of harm. You'll have more cravings, more hunger, and more insulin spikes, which leads to all around less progress for you. This was one of the biggest discoveries for many of our keto challengers during the last challenge. Some of the challengers were told by diet gurus or nutritionists to keep the diet soda in. They were told that it can help with cravings and help with hunger, but it really does the exact opposite. And once they work on weaning themselves off of the diet drinks, like we teach them to do, this makes keto so much easier to stick with because it crushes through so many cravings you previously felt. Now, speaking of challengers, another keto challenge is on the horizon. So mark your date for October 12th because that's when the doors open to the next keto challenge. I know a lot of our Keto Decoded members and previous keto challengers are excited to compete against others for big results as well as big prizes. And I know that you really want to learn and implement all of these tactics to crush through your cravings and finally reach your goals. But just understand that it's so much easier to stay on track when you have a group of people cheering you on and holding you accountable. So if you're not on that keto challenge list, you can get on it now at eatingfatisthenewskinny.com/keto challenge. But before you get on that list, let's quickly review what you can do to crush through cravings on keto. Number 1, you can improve your digestion. Number 2, eat more real food. And number 3, ditch the diet drinks. Okay, now you can rush over to that list at eatingfatisthenewskinny.com/keto challenge. When you get on that list, you'll also get my keto challenge prep tips, and right now is the time to start preparing. Also, be sure